In the small town of Black Hollow, there was an old crumbling mansion at the edge of the woods, long abandoned and avoided by the locals. They called it the Widow's House, named after its last inhabitant, a woman whose husband vanished one stormy night decades ago. No one knew what happened to him, but after his disappearance, strange things began to occur. The widow stopped leaving the house, and anyone who ventured near would hear her wailing through the walls, though no one ever saw her again. Soon, the widow was forgotten, as the house fell into ruin. One autumn night, a group of teenagers, fueled by the thrill of urban legends, dared each other to spend the night in the widow's house. Armed with flashlights and their phones, they pushed open the rotting front door, the hinges creaking like a warning. Inside, the house was deathly quiet, save for the distant sound of leaves rustling outside. The air was heavy with the smell of mildew, and the once grand furniture was covered in dust. As they wandered through the darkened halls, one of them, Ben, noticed something odd. The walls seemed to shift when they weren't looking, doors closing on their own. His friends laughed it off, calling him paranoid. They found the widow's bedroom on the second floor, the bed still made as if waiting for someone to return. An old, cracked mirror hung on the wall, reflecting the room dimly. As the group stared into it, they realized with horror that their reflections were wrong. In the mirror, they weren't alone. A shadowy figure stood behind them. They spun around, but the room was empty. Panic set in, and they agreed to leave. But when they reached the front door, it wouldn't budge. The windows were sealed shut, and the walls seemed to close in around them. The house was trapping them inside. Then the sound of soft footsteps echoed through the halls. Slowly, methodically, coming closer. They ran, splitting up in their terror, hoping to find another way out. One by one, the footsteps found them. Ben, hiding under the stairs, could hear the others' screams cut short, replaced by an eerie silence. His heart pounded as he waited, trying to stay perfectly still. But then he felt it, a cold, bony hand gently resting on his shoulder. He turned, and standing there was the widow, her face pale and hollow, eyes filled with endless sorrow. Her mouth opened in a silent wail. Ben's scream was the last sound anyone ever heard from the widow's house. The next morning, the house stood as silent as ever. The teenagers were never seen again, and the town once more forgot about the mansion. But if you stand close enough, on a quiet night, you might hear them, trapped in the walls, their whispers calling out for help that will never come.